Sananda. Disconnect from the matrix and show others the way. I am Sananda, and I come to be with you in this moment, to help you remember. You have heard many times about the changes that await you, and I'm here to remind you, not only of those changes that are indeed still coming and are happening right now, but also to remind you of the power you hold within to disconnect from the matrix, whenever you wish to disconnect from the illusion. You did not come here only to be able to do that, to disconnect from the illusion, but you came here to disconnect from that illusion, as well as to show others the way, to show others that they can do it too. Yes, it is important to live your life, in whatever way works for you, but to live it in the present, not to live anchored to the past, as so many around the world continue to do, living in the past, clinging to it, creating from the past, and repeating the same stories endlessly. That is not why you came here. You came here to help others and yourselves, to realize the inner power that resides within each of you. And in doing so, you are truly creating a new earth, because every single thought you have either helps create the new earth, or keeps you trapped in the illusion. It is your choice. It is always your choice. Cling to the illusion. Stay in the illusion. Let go of the illusion. Find yourself on the other side of the door, on the other side of the gateway, and you will be there in that moment, creating in that moment. And that is what this is all about, for all of you, being able to rise in consciousness, to rise in vibrational frequency. Remember, everything is vibrational frequency and consciousness. And as frequency rises, consciousness rises. And as consciousness rises, vibrational frequency continues to increase, and so on. Every single thought you have, that you have ever had, is part of the quantum field, part of humanity's collective consciousness. And when you have thoughts of disconnecting from the matrix, those thoughts exist in that quantum field and can be picked up by many, many other people who are also in their awakening process. So even if you have awakened and have begun to awaken more and more people to that power within you, others are also in that process. It doesn't matter what point of the process they are at. You are on your path. They are on theirs. And if your paths cross, then that is wonderful. If they don't, then it is time to move on. It all revolves around moving forward, becoming who you are meant to be, fulfilling your destiny, and every one of you has a destiny. Yes, your free will changes that destiny from time to time. It changes the purpose for which you came here. Because purpose is constantly evolving based on your vibrational frequency and your consciousness, and so it is for everyone else. They are on their path, you are on yours. I am Sananda, and now I leave you in peace, love, and unity, and may you continue to understand the true purpose for which you came here, to free yourselves from the illusion and to show others how to do the same. Preparations for the June 2026 Solstice Precious Heart. Contrary to outer appearances, the company of heaven is confirming that Mother Earth and awakened humanity are vibrating at a higher frequency of light than anything we have experienced since we fell into the abyss of separation and duality eons ago. This allows us to receive from the solar logos in our system of worlds higher solar light codes than we have ever experienced before. As these codes are released into the mental and emotional strata of the Earth through the unusual frequency of the documented solar storms on our physical sun, lightworkers around the world are integrating the sacred knowledge coming from these solar light codes, thus making them available for the masses of humanity to draw upon. These solar light codes are fundamental to assisting our I Am Presence in the process of activating the remaining dormant genetic codes encoded within the 12 strands of our fifth-dimensional crystalline solar DNA. This activation is an essential part of the divine alchemy unfolding within our earthly bodies. In 2026, there have already been several accelerations of energy, vibration, and consciousness, but the most profound will occur during the June solstice on June 20th and 21st. The multidimensional consciousness of every person's I Am Presence is becoming aware of this opportunity at some level. This will contribute to this year's divine mission, which is initiating a rapid evolutionary shift toward Christ consciousness that will involve every person who belongs to or serves the earth at this time. We are told from on high that this shift will unfold at a dizzying speed over the next 5 years. This event, which the company of heaven initially believed would take centuries to accomplish, will be co-created through the joint efforts of heaven and earth. Because awakened humanity is offering itself to be the open door for the unprecedented frequencies of divine light that Mother Earth and all her life are now able to endure, our victory is assured. In this cosmic moment, our divine parents ask us to open our hearts so that we can tangibly feel this exaltation and infinite gratitude flowing into our heart flames from the heavenly realms. We have voluntarily offered to serve as instruments of God during this critical phase of Mother Earth's ascension process. This means that we are the open door that no one can shut. Joy and infinite gratitude spring forth from the heart of our Father, Mother God, and the entire company of heaven. This gift from above is the answer to the selfless service that you, I, and the rest of awakened humanity have rendered to Mother Earth and to all life dwelling within her for countless lifetimes. Now, in this eternal present moment, through the joint efforts of heaven and earth, we will co-create an activity of light that will awaken, activate, and elevate to completely new levels of consciousness, humanity's ability to receive and distribute God's infinite light to every particle and wave of life on planet Earth. Once this activity of light is victoriously accomplished by God, awakened humanity will be able to perceive, through our creative faculties and physical senses, much more tangibly the wonderful patterns and archetypes of Mother Earth's new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar reality. These unfathomable fifth-dimensional crystalline solar patterns, based on the heart, pulse in the realms of cause, awaiting the global shift to Christ consciousness that we are called to co-create at this time. When this shift occurs, humanity as a whole will be able to breathe these extraordinary patterns into the world of form at the highest frequencies of our sacred breath. So that we may fully understand the scope of what this means, the company of heaven wants us to realize that these patterns are composed of brand new spectrums of light, divine qualities, geometric patterns, images, colors, musical tones, and fragrances that go far beyond anything the incarnated sons and daughters of God on earth have ever been able to imagine. Since the system of worlds to which Mother Earth belongs has ascended into the full embrace of our great central sun, brand new portals of light have given humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth access to levels of divine intervention and collaboration from the celestial realms that go far beyond anything we have been able to safely experience at a vibrational level before. Since the beginning of this year, 2026, the beings of light from our great central sun have guided us step by step through various activities of light, designed to strengthen our earthly bodies and raise the frequency of the prana and life force in our sacred breath. This divine intervention is a crucial factor in preparing each of us for the light we will receive during the June solstice. The infinite love and gratitude with which we are blessed by our Father, Mother God, and the company of heaven on this sacred and holy day are preparing all of awakened humanity for the next phase of our individual and collective divine plans in Mother Earth's ascension process. This preparation today is intensifying our ability to increase God's light in every corner of this planet. The success of this essential aspect of Earth's ascension process has paved the way for an awakening in the hearts and minds of the masses of humanity, an event never seen before. Now, during this cosmic moment, you, me, and the rest of awakened humanity are given the opportunity to co-create, with the beings of light from our great central sun, a divine matrix that will help the masses of humanity to listen to the inner guidance from their I Am presence and to understand in completely new ways the profound truth of what it means to be the open door that no one can shut. If you feel the call in your heart to serve your brothers and sisters in the human family in this important way, join me and the light workers around the world who have volunteered to be instruments of God during this unprecedented phase of Mother Earth's unfolding divine plan. And let us begin. I am my I Am presence, and I am one with the I Am presence of every expression of the sons and daughters of God on earth. What I invoke for myself today, I invoke on behalf of every person in perfect alignment with each one's divine plan and for the highest good of all concerned. In the sacred breath, all the I Am presences of humanity now merge into a single luminous being of light that cradles Mother Earth and all life evolving upon her in the divinity of our unified heart flames. I take another deep conscious breath and instantly realize that humanity, the elemental kingdom, and Mother Earth are all breathing in unison with me. We are one conscious sacred breath. As I continue to inhale and exhale deeply, the integration of my I Am presence intensifies. Within my earthly bodies, every electron, every atom, every subatomic particle and wave of my physical, etheric, mental and emotional bodies and all the spaces between the atoms and molecules of my bodies are receiving and assimilating this new multidimensional, multiform divine light from my I Am presence. As I assimilate this gift of divine light, I begin to remember the truth about myself. I came into this world with a specific purpose. I came to fulfill a mission. I came to contribute to the salvation and ascension of this sweet earth and all life evolving upon it. I came to love all life free. Now I know that I'm part of God and that the fullness of my Father, Mother God dwells within me. In the heart and mind of God, Every single person is precious and of fundamental importance to the balance and order of the universe. Without me, God would not be complete. Without me, the universe would lose its balance. Everything I am called to do, I will now do with enthusiasm and happiness, because nothing is too insignificant. I am always enveloped in the love of my Father, Mother, God. Never again will there be a sense of futility in my life. I am filled with gratitude for the opportunity to be on earth at this time. I am so grateful to be where I am, right now, serving everyone I meet on my path with love, compassion, forgiveness, and joy. Now, thanks to the amplified integration of my I Am presence, I am able to hear my intuitive inner guidance in new ways. I am fully aware that, as a daughter of God, I am powerful beyond my understanding. This is true because my Father, Mother, God, and I are one. Now I know that all that my divine parents possess is my divine birthright. I realize that, thanks to the divine intervention of my I Am presence, I clearly have the ability to release the light of my Father, Mother, God into every physical and chemical interaction within my earthly bodies. This light is now healing and recalibrating all the energetic bonds within and between atoms to the vibrational frequency of God's infinite physical perfection. The eternal light of my Father, Mother, God pulses with a divine wisdom that contains everything needed to straighten the orbit, spin, and electronic charge of every atomic and subatomic particle and every wave of life on Earth. All the energetic bonds within the atomic kingdom are now being accelerated in vibration toward the frequency of Mother Earth's new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar reality. Through the luminous being of light formed by the collective I Am presences of humanity, every person on Earth is now receiving and assimilating the divine wisdom and sacred knowledge encoded within their own individual I Am presence and their newly activated 12 fifth-dimensional crystalline solar strands. When this happens, every person's I Am presence releases the heart-based patterns encoded in the divine wisdom and sacred knowledge into our fifth-dimensional DNA. As these heart-based patterns flood the Earth, they penetrate every interaction within humanity and all the energetic bonds within it. These interactions include the relationships of all people, all organizations, all races, all religions, and all nations. All these interactions are now being released into the harmony of a higher order of being, thus greatly expanding the influence of humanity's I Am presence on Earth. Now, through my fully integrated I Am presence and my 12 fifth-dimensional DNA strands, I am able to clearly receive divine suggestions, ideas, and concepts from my Father, Mother, God. I know now, through all levels of consciousness, that I am a living, luminous temple of invincible perfection, expressing my true state of enlightened consciousness with every thought, feeling, word, and action I take. I am the open door that no one can shut. I am a being of light who now reflects God's divine comprehensive love, unity, oneness, reverence for all life, vibrant health, infinite abundance, eternal peace, enlightened truth, and abundant joy. I am, here and now, my I Am presence manifesting tangibly on Earth. As this profound truth resonates in my heart and mind, my physical reality is being transfigured into the love-based patterns of perfection associated with Mother Earth's new fifth-dimensional crystalline solar reality. And so be it, through my omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent Father, Mother, God, the cosmic I Am, all that is. Now, gently, I bring my consciousness back into the room and become aware of my earthly bodies as I continue to inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. With infinite gratitude and eternal peace, I allow the amplified fifth-dimensional crystalline solar light flowing through my I Am presence to be fully assimilated at a cellular level into my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies, and I enjoy the bliss of this moment. God bless you. The Arcturian Council. The question that opens new realities today, we wish to speak about one of the most transformative tools available to consciousness, a tool so simple that many underestimate its true power. We speak of the question. Many human beings have been conditioned to describe reality rather than explore it. They observe a situation and immediately conclude, that's how things are. They observe a challenge and declare, this is my limit. They observe a pattern and decide, this is simply who I am. And reality responds by showing them just that. Yet every statement creates a container around experience. It defines the boundaries of what the mind expects to encounter and what the eyes are prepared to see. A question does something completely different. A question creates movement. It opens a space where there previously seemed to be none. A question invites reality to reveal possibilities that were hidden behind pre-existing assumptions. Imagine you are standing before a vast mountain range. If you decide there is no path through it, your journey ends before it even begins. Yet, the moment you ask, where is the path? Your perception changes. Details that were invisible a moment before begin to emerge. Perhaps there is a narrow passage between two peaks. Perhaps there is a trail that gently winds around the mountain. Perhaps there is a guide waiting nearby who knows the way. The mountains remain exactly the same. What changes is your relationship to them. This is the power of a question. Many people spend years repeating statements about their lives. They say they are stuck. They say opportunities are limited. They say change is difficult. They say they don't know what to do next. Each statement reinforces the current structure of reality. A question introduces new energy into the system. Instead of saying, I don't know my purpose, ask yourself, how is my purpose already revealing itself through my life? Instead of saying, I have a problem, ask yourself, what opportunity is hidden within this experience? Instead of saying, nothing is changing, ask yourself, what changes are already occurring that I haven't yet fully acknowledged? Do you feel the difference between these approaches? One closes the door. The other turns the handle. A river offers another beautiful example. When a river encounters a large rock, it remains curious. It explores every possibility. It flows around one side and then the other. It discovers hidden channels beneath the surface. Over time, it reshapes the surrounding landscape. The river is never trapped by the sight of an obstacle because its nature is movement and exploration. Consciousness works in a similar way. The moment you ask a sincere question, your energy begins to move. New ideas become accessible. New connections are made. New paths emerge in the field of possibilities. Sometimes the answer comes immediately, like a sudden intuition. Other times it arrives through a conversation with a stranger. Still other times it presents itself as a sentence in a book, a message from a friend, a nighttime dream, or a synchronicity that catches your attention. Life expresses itself through countless channels. The answer often begins to surface long before the mind becomes aware of it. Imagine a gardener planting seeds. The gardener places the seed in the soil and trusts the intelligence already present in life. The seed receives sunlight, water, nourishment, and time. Eventually, a sprout emerges from the ground. The gardener understands that growth happens through a process of gradual development. Questions work in much the same way. Every meaningful question plants a seed in consciousness. Some seeds sprout quickly. Others take root more slowly. Yet every sincere question creates movement in the field and begins to attract the experiences, insights, and awareness needed for its answer to emerge. As humanity continues its evolution, many will discover that wisdom lies less in definitive conclusions and more in conscious exploration. The mind often seeks certainty, while the soul delights in discovery. The mind asks for an ending, while the soul remains fascinated by what is possible beyond the horizon. This is why questions are sacred. They keep consciousness alive, flexible, creative, and expansive. Today we invite you to carry a simple question into your day. What wonderful possibility is already unfolding that I have not yet fully grasped? Ask it gently. Hold it lightly. Allow life to answer in its own language and its own time. You may discover that the question itself was the key, and that the moment you asked it, a new reality had already begun to open before you. We are the Arcturian Council, and we remind you that every question asked with genuine open-mindedness becomes a door through which new worlds can enter your experience. The Zero Negativity Practice 2 of my favorite authors on the subject of marriage are Harville Hendrix and Helen Lakely Hunt. They wrote something called the Zero Negativity Guide for Couples. I haven't applied this method to my marriage, but I have found it to be a very effective approach to apply to life in general. I consider myself a positive person and, compared to many others, I really am very much so. But since I started practicing the elimination of negativity, I've noticed that I judge others more than I thought. And I have a negative view of some people, much more than I imagined. I'll talk more about this later, and explain how I put it into practice. And I'll share how it can change your life. In summary, here's what the zero negativity approach can change if you put it into practice. You can soften your judgments toward others, less resentment and frustration. You can adopt a more positive view of others, which will lead to better relationships, fewer complaints, and greater appreciation. You can begin to have a more positive view of yourself, with less self-criticism, shame, and anxiety. These are huge, life-changing shifts. Let's look at them in detail. Negative view toward other people. I was truly shocked by how often I have a negative opinion of others. Sometimes people I know, sometimes strangers on the street, certainly people who misbehave in public. When we have these negative opinions, we feel like we're right. They shouldn't behave that way. They should know better. They should act differently. I started to notice how often people's behavior irritated or frustrated me. How I saw them in a negative light. How awful. So I practiced. Pay attention to moments when I feel frustration, irritation, or resentment, and then examine the negative view I have of the person. Allow myself to feel the emotions, without fueling them with further negative thoughts. Try to soften my attitude toward that person, to be more understanding and compassionate, to acknowledge that they're doing their best. Try to identify the positive qualities in this person. What this creates is a completely new way of relating to that person. The moment we make these changes, one small step at a time, we create a new perspective and a new relationship with all the people around us, including strangers. Negative view of ourselves. What occurred to me, while applying the zero negativity approach toward others, is that the same thing can apply to ourselves. We have a negative view of ourselves that causes shame and anxiety, discouragement and disappointment when we fail to meet our frustrations, and an inner critic that damages everything we do. What if we created a new relationship with ourselves? Same practice. Pay attention to moments when I feel frustration or disappointment with myself, and then examine the negative view I have of myself. Allow myself to feel the emotions, without fueling them with further negative thoughts. Try to be gentler with myself, to be more understanding and compassionate, to acknowledge that I am doing my best. Try to identify the positive qualities in myself. If we do this, the changes that occur are profound. Everything in our lives becomes easier. You might be reluctant to try this practice, but I hope you will. With love, OWS and Shoshanna. Red hand OWS Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. Om. Greetings everyone, this is OWS, and Shoshanna is here ready to answer your questions, if you have any. Are there any questions for OWS and Shoshanna? Member, I understand if you can't answer this question right now, but I was curious about the Order of the Red Hand and the seal documents in the Pinacate, Mexico. Will they be unsealed after the solar flare? OWS, we will tell you that they are still there. They have not yet been brought to light. However, they are in the process of being so, in the sense that, as consciousness and vibrational frequency continue to increase, those who move back into that area will be able to bring those documents to light, because they will have reached the same vibrational frequency necessary to discover, unearth, and recover those particular documents you are speaking of. They are there. They are available. And when the solar flare occurs, there will be a huge increase in vibrational frequency and awareness. This could certainly prompt some of them to find their way back to that place. Member, thank you. Thank you for the answer. OWS, would there be any other questions? Member, I have a question. A simple question, I hope. Is there a deadline by which we can ascend to the fifth dimension? Is there a time limit? OWS, it is not so, because of the continuing change of consciousness and vibrational frequency throughout the planet. As vibrational frequency and consciousness increase, there is an ever greater tendency to trigger the great changes resulting from the solar flare and other changes that may occur. It is a change of consciousness, a change in collective consciousness, to bring about these changes here. So, Shoshanna, did you have something to add? Shoshanna, well, if we may, we would like to offer a perspective. Dear one, it is important to understand that time is an illusion. There is no limit. The limit on time is imposed by human consciousness. So you must understand that when you think in terms of limits, you create them yourself. There are no time limits on anything. OWS, other questions? Member, I'm not sure what Sananda meant by the need to turn the page. Could you be more specific, please? OWS, I believe Sananda was referring to the idea of forgiving, forgetting, and moving on, and committing to doing that as much as possible here. Forgiving anyone who has ever wronged you, at any time, not only in this life but in all past lives as well. And then forgetting the past, in the sense of remaining anchored to that past. That doesn't mean forgetting the wonderful memories of the past. But you have to let go of everything that holds you back, that prevents you from truly disconnecting from the matrix. And then the moving on part consists of moving forward, moment by moment, moment after moment. Not from the past, and not towards the future either. Because if you focus on the present moment and find yourself in a higher vibrational frequency and state of consciousness, then the future will take care of itself. Do you understand? Shoshanna, do you have anything to add? Shoshanna, well, we are not certain of that. If we could offer our perspective, it would be a perspective that would be welcomed. But we wish to try. So, do you know someone in your environment who tells a story, and then that story repeats throughout their life? They always tell the same story. Does anyone like that exist? Member, I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Shoshanna, oh, like a victim. Member, oh, yes, yes. Shoshanna, so we would like to ask if the person you have in mind, who tells a victimization story, has had any change in their life. It won't happen because we create our reality with our words. And we attract what we desire into our lives by declaring it. Does that make sense? Member, absolutely. Shoshanna, and you would agree with that. Member, oh, certainly. Shoshanna, we are trapping you. Because we are about to tell you that, even if most of those who make statements in their lives truly believe that that is their life and that they have no power over it, we will tell you that you can awaken others by declaring it, and that the words, I am the one, will reinforce this concept in your mind and in your surroundings. And you will attract only those who vibrate at your same frequency. I ask you to begin to change. OWS, are there any other questions before we open the channel? Nothing else? Then Shoshanna, do you have a parting message? Shoshanna, in every moment that we think and speak, we create the actions we will take, and we create the life we will live. This is the mechanism that creates life. Words, thoughts that are followed by actions. When there is a thought, I cannot, the action will be that I won't. When I think I can, I act by saying I will. You see, I will. I will make it happen. That's how simple life is, you see. The complexity of the matter emerges when we do not understand that our power lies in what we think, what we say, and the actions that spring from those thoughts and words. We pay attention to love. This is the truth. No mistake. OWS, very well. And we remind you to always think of yourselves and live at a higher vibrational frequency. That is what it's all about, vibrational frequency and consciousness. So, keep yourselves at that higher vibrational frequency whenever you can. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one. The creators. Is life on Earth a simulation or a video game? We are here for you. We are the creators. We are a collective of non-physical 12th-dimensional beings, and we are here to help you. We have listened, observed, and experienced the thoughts and questions of many human beings, and we know that many of you have wondered whether life on Earth is, in fact, a simulation. You have also often wondered whether life on Earth is just like a video game. Yes, life on Earth is a simulation, but it is a simulation created by yourselves. And yes, it is like a video game, only you don't advance to the next level by defeating an opponent. You reach the next level of your soul's journey, of your consciousness evolution, by accepting, loving, forgiving, and having compassion for others. That is how you suddenly find yourself on a new timeline, in a new dimension, at a higher density. Since everything is your creation, and since you create everything with your energy, how could you progress by defeating something? You are meant to let everything be as it is. You lighten up by letting go of fear, judgment, and resistance, and that is how you naturally ascend to a higher level. That is how the video game of your life works. Now, once you have recognized that everything is your creation and that everything is there to serve you, you can let go of resistance a little more easily. When you have understood these things and adopted the philosophy that says, everything is here to serve me, then you can begin to understand why things are the way they are, or why someone behaves in a certain way. It is not random, and there is no chaos. Everything is uniquely orchestrated for you. The player, the one living the life, the one experiencing the game. And everything you encounter along the way, in the path of this game, has symbolic meaning for you. You know what each object symbolizes for you. And if you are willing to do inner investigative work, then you can discover what each symbol means to you. You can understand why you are facing this particular challenge in this particular way, if you can understand that it is part of a larger plan for your growth. Now, through your spiritual growth and evolution, and as you ascend to ever higher levels, another aspect that differentiates your life from a video game is that the higher levels become easier, not harder. In a video game, everything starts moving faster, and you're presented with more and more obstacles and challenges, and all of this makes you a better player. But once you free yourself from resistance, judgment, and fear, you don't need so many challenges. You don't need to keep jumping over the same obstacle again and again. Once you have proven to yourself that you have extracted everything from a particular experience, there is no need to repeat it endlessly. In fact, as you progress toward higher levels of awareness, you begin to understand that you create the game you participate in, you choose the obstacles and challenges, and you choose to proceed at your own pace. You still want to grow. You still want to improve as human beings or as energetic beings. But you don't need something that seems external to you to face these challenges. You will have matured to the point where you can set challenges for yourself, because you know they will help you evolve and ascend. And that is precisely what all of you do in your self-created simulations. We are the creators, and we love you very much.